Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here. Welcome to this training session. This will be my final session for this year. It's the 24th of the 12th where I am, and I'll be taking a few days off with the family over the Christmas break. So I'm going to cover a fair amount of information in this video. One of the things I wanted to really focus on in today's session was trading the black gold, crude oil. I receive basically emails almost every day from traders around the world, and more are showing interest, or they already do, trade crude oil. CL is the ticker code that we use on TradeStation, and it's becoming really popular now. As an example, the day before Christmas, or 2 days before in the US, even though it was crude oil inventories today, crude turned over 354,000 contracts, where the E-minis, the ES, turned over 1 million. So we see the crude oil contracts, basically every day of the week now, some really great volume. So it's becoming very popular, and at $10 a tick, it doesn't take too many ticks to really hit your daily profit target. Now, as we lead into this, something I want to say, when I show you some of the trade setups that I'm going to be showing you, I've been researching the markets for years. I'm heavily involved with professional traders every day of the week. I'm a full-time day trader in my own right. I'm a researcher. I've back tested and researched literally hundreds of trading systems. So what I show you works, and the reason I say that, I still, even with some of my own students, still have students bringing new systems and strategies to me when they haven't mastered what they already have. So what I'm going to be showing you traders is the best of the best. For an example, if you become a student of mine, there is no upsell. Yes, you may choose to hire me as a coach one-to-one, but everything I coach you on as a one-to-one coach is taught in the Day Traders Fast Track program anyway. So there is no upsell, and I think it's really important that you realize that. Now, before we go to the charts, I've got to put up by law, of course, the disclaimer, understanding the risk. If you haven't seen one of my videos before, perhaps you'd like to just pause the video and read the risk disclaimer. Now, in a couple of moments, we are going to be looking at some screens and looking at the charts, I should say. So if you'd like to go down the bottom right hand corner, if you're fairly new to YouTube, you can blow this up to full screen. It'll just make it a little easier. So let's talk about what is a daily realistic profit target. If you're a brand new trader to trading the futures or the Forex market, I recommend that you have a lower profit target to begin with, and as you gain confidence, as you hit say $100 a day, you celebrate, then you go across to the simulator. Then perhaps you target $150, $200, $300, $400. You go up from there, and the other thing it comes down to is how much time are you willing to put in front of your screens. For an example, I tend to find after 3 hours of active day trading, I'm pretty bushed, I'm pretty tired. So 3 hours is sort of my maximum, and usually I get my daily targets usually hit within 2 hours, quite often 1 hour. So set a realistic profit target. So on crude oil, 3 trades of 8 ticks is $240, less $15 in commission brokerage. You'll get that a little bit less than that, but that'll give you around $225. So I really believe that's a realistic target once you've mastered the setups. So another important thing, to dramatically increase your probabilities of achieving 8 ticks net, you want to target trend trades after a T20. So this is particularly for my students that have my course already. Okay, so if you really want to hit the targets fairly early, look for the trades after a T20. Now, another really important thing to understand here is to be very focused on the trades you're going to be taking. Now, this is a photograph of a slide, or this is a slide that I actually have in a plastic sleeve on my desk, and this is my affirmation: I'm patient, I'm disciplined, I'm focused, I am a sniper, one shot, one kill, I'm a rules-based pattern trader. This is to remind myself, is to step into the shoes, if you like, of a sniper. one shot, one kill. That is, I'm looking for the best quality trades. If really it doesn't meet the rules, I'm very much a rules-based trader. I will step aside or stand aside, and it's really important. Now, for the newer traders, this is a page taken out of Mark Douglas's book. And Mark Douglas has passed away now, but he was one of the best trainers, if you like, in the area of psychology for traders. He wrote the book The Disciplined Trader, and he talks about how to master the art of trading. And one of the ways to master the art of trading traders is, as he says here, to become an expert, choose one simple trading system that identifies a pattern, preferably one that is mechanical instead of mathematical. So you'll be working with a visual representation of market behavior. Traders, my setups, my strategies are very visual and mechanical in their nature. Now, there is some discretion. The discretion is, of course, what sort of volume do we have for the day? Are we around news announcements, etc.? Otherwise, they're a good 95% mechanical. So what I want you to do is to really master one or two strategies before you move on to another. So how do we achieve our daily goal? How are we going to do this? Well, let's begin by trend trading only. Whether you're new to trading gold, gold, there I go again, black gold, trading oil. Of course you can trade gold, which by the way I don't trade gold contracts. But there are 5 trend trading strategies that we have that are real keys. Now, when you become a student, I have over 12 different strategies, and one of the challenges for newer students and even some of the experienced traders is they feel really overwhelmed. Well, you don't have to be, because you really only need to master one of the following strategies for an incredible career as a day trader: the T1, the T2, the T25, the 34 bounce, and the 89 bounce. They are all trend following strategies. Now, it is better if you take those fairly soon after a T20, because a T20 setup, traders, is a strategy that signifies a change in market direction or a new trend. And of course, the earlier you enter a new trend, the more likely you are, of course, to have a number of profitable trades in that trend. So getting back to mastering the trades, remember what the great Jim Rohn said: success is doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. And where I have traders perhaps that struggle or continually make mistakes with their trading, well, what they're trying to do, they're trying to do too many things. So wax on, wax off. Remember the movie Karate Kid, and I know for many of you hear me talk about this all the time: wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. And that's the very reason why you want to really use the simulator. It's just so important. Remember, you're going to be trading for the rest of your life. Now, for some, that may only be the next 10 years. For many of you, it's going to be perhaps the next 20 or 30 or 40 years. So give yourself time to learn how to trade professionally. Likewise, if you're a trader, a very experienced trader, as many of my students are, over 70% of my students are experienced traders. For many of you, you need to draw a line in the sand and rewrite history and retrain yourself. Give yourself 90 days. Remember, this is a lifetime career. One of the greatest challenges I have is traders that go in and want to learn this overnight. Remember, there's only one way to master this, and that's become an epic trader. So very important that as you watch me on these training videos, as you take notes, then you keep statistics. You see, if you're keeping statistics, that gives you then the ability to work out the probabilities, which then gives you certainty. And what's one of the key human needs? We all want certainty. And if you know your statistics and your probabilities, that allows you to do that. So if you're trading only one or two key trend following strategies, it's also not a lot of work to keep your stats up. The next thing is to trend trade only. Unless you're already very profitable as a trend trader, please do not counter trend trade. And we're not going to be talking about any counter trends today, only trend trades. Now we're about to go to the charts. And one really important thing here is practice on the simulator, a minimum of 100 trades flawlessly. Now, when I say flawlessly, do I mean I have to have, or you have to have 100 winning trades in a row? No, you do want to see yourself at a 75% plus level. With most of the strategies that I teach, you're going to get 75% minimum, and you become better. That is, if you were to take every trade 100% mechanically, yes, some of the strategies may only be 65%, 60%, but when you learn to read the patterns correctly, such as when the moving averages are horizontal or going sideways, to sit it out, your statistics will soar. And of course, all of this I cover comprehensively in the Day Traders Fast Track program. So go to my website if you haven't. Now, we're about to go to the charts, by the way. Let's not leave this, but if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. Now let's go and have a look at the black gold. I got it right this time. At oil. Now what we're looking at here, traders, is the CL is crude oil 350 share bar. Now you can use time-based charts, range, tick. For the sake of this exercise, I'm using volume, as I really like volume here. Now let's have a look at some of the setups that I spoke about. Well, I won't go into the T20 and all of the setups technically why they work, but for my students, you can see there we've got a T20 there. So to enter after a T20, you're going to romp your 8 ticks or better in, and remembering the earlier you enter a trade on a new trend, the higher the profit target you can set. So this is the start here of a new trend. So you've got a T20 trade there, you've got a really small T25, you've got a T25, of course down here you've got an 89 bounce, up here you've got a 34 bounce, there you've got a T25, here you've got a T25, T25, 34 bounce, 34 bounce. So you can see here that our trend following strategies, you've got a 34 bounce here. I'm not sure if I mentioned that's a T25. You got a T25. Now what you do want to be careful of, and this is applicable on all markets, is that the more trade you have in a trend, so you've had 1, 2, 3, remembering you're probably heading towards a market correction. This is your 4th major trade, and what do we end up with is a lower high, and of course we go through a market correction. Now along here, traders, we can see here we've got 89 bounces. So the 89 is a great trend direction indicator. Okay, you've got up here, you've got another 34 bounce. Here you had a T25. There was also a T25, a 34 bounce. Here you have a lower high again. Now just keep an eye on these, because they're a really great indication of a change in market trend, even if only temporarily. So note here you've got a higher high here, a lower high, bang, down it goes. Over here it's almost a double or triple top, but it is lower, and away it goes. You had a T20 crossover here, then of course you got a 34 bounce and a T1. Over here you had a T2. So it's a great market for trend trading. There is no need to counter trend trade on oil. 34 bounce, 34 bounce, 34 bounce, T25. Now up here it's almost a T25, and it gets beyond being a T25. You've got too many candles back, but it turns into a 34B. Now also notice the power of the 8 EMA here. The 8 EMA is an excellent indicator to use for staying in a trade and maximizing how many points you pick up or ticks you pick up in a trade. Notice this 34 bounce, you don't get a decent close over until down here. So you would have been in this trade on the close over here, so that was a close of 36.32. Let's just say the low there, low of 36.32. so there you've got a good, what's that, 32, a good 20 ticks or $200 just in that one move alone. you go and take this 34 bounce, there's $300 in that move. Now what I'm pointing out here is just what a great market to trend trade. So okay, you may be thinking, okay, Ray, you're talking about these great trends, but what about these periods of consolidation? How do we handle these? Well, these are the areas where you want to be really cautious. When you start to see your 34 EMA horizontal like this, remember one of our golden trading rules are, and this is for those watching my videos for the first time, you follow the 8. If the 8 is above the 34, you're only looking for long trades. If the 8 is below the 34, you're only looking for short trades. So here you can see here we're hitting Chop City. Now you can see up here that we've now got a higher low. Now remember earlier we had those lower highs. What does that usually signify? A change in market direction. This is a trade or a signal to actually go long, but be very careful where you see all of your moving averages converging. So what you've got here is your 89, your 34, and your 8 EMA all converging together, and you can see here you've got a real period of this. Now for my students, you know, this is a 200B, this is a 200B, but this is an area to be really cautious. So we're looking at about 2:30 in the afternoon at this stage here, and we're heading towards the end of the market day, but you had still some short trades there on those 200 bounces. Market opens. Now remembering traders that this is the day before. Let me just check this. Sorry, no, this is yesterday's market. I just need to check where we were up to. I'm getting myself lost here. Okay, so one of the things, or one of the rules you want to do, is follow the 34. Now remember, you can see here that your 8 is above the 34. So what are we looking for? Longs only. When the 8 is under the 34, shorts only. Here you've got your 89 bounce, T20, T20 again, pivot bounce turns into a 34 bounce. You've got a 34 bounce again. So don't want to go into all of the different trades. Here you've got a 200
strategy
bounce.
alert.
So these are great trading opportunities, and I just had a signal to go long on the ES, by the way. So traders, black gold is a great trading market. Up here you've got a T20, you've got a 34 bounce. Just there you've got a T25. Just there you've got a T25, another T25. So I won't go on and on with all these different setups you've got. Now remembering what I said here, the best trades are after you get a T20. Here you got a nice T20, then you got a T25, then you got another T25. Here you had another T25. These are all mechanical trades. So suppose what I want to get across, and the main purpose of this video, traders, was for those that are considering trading black gold, crude oil, there are great trading opportunities basically every day of the week, and in my opinion, I'm really seeing a pickup in volume. I think it's becoming more and more popular. Now what about the volatility? Now this is my opinion only, is I believe that oil is not much more volatile than any other market. That is, it's going to be volatile around the inventory reports. It's going to be volatile around the red flag news announcements. So these are the times where you do want to be cautious. And one other thing which I receive a number of emails on and questions about is that Russell 2000. Now the Russell 2000 ticker code on TradeStation and many others is TF. Now that trades at $100 a point, and actually I may even have one here. Let me pull this up for you. Here it is here. So this is the Russell 2000. The setups work beautifully on the Russell 2000 as well. Here is an 89B, 34B, 34B, 34B. You've got T25s, you've got T25, T25. You've got T1s, T2s. You know, you've got trades firing away all over the place. Now that's heading towards the end of the day, and just, you know, you get some great trends. However, as an example, Today it only turned over around 70,000 contracts compared to Crude 354,000 or the ES 1,000, and I can't remember the what the NQ turned over. So the TF Russell 2000 has turns over a lot less contracts, even though at $10 a tick and $100 a point in increment movements, it's excellent. I prefer other markets, but it is very tradable, and with the day traders fast track program, our setups just work an absolute treat, as they do on all markets. And be very careful, traders, on any setups or strategies or programs that only work on specific markets or specific time frames, because then you start to get into what we call a concept called curve fitting, which is what you want to avoid like the plague. So traders, I wish you all the best for Christmas. Have a safe Christmas. And 2016 for my traders and my students is going to be a huge year for us. If you're not already a student, for $197 you become a student. I keep you updated with all of my videos. I answer all your emails. I'm your coach. I love this market. I love day trading. It's what I live for. So I've got now 150 180, I don't know, over 200 videos now, I think, on YouTube. This is what I love doing. I love day trading. So come and join the family. So go to my website if you haven't already downloaded my free book or requested that. Even better still, invest $197 in your career as a day trader or a swing trader, and of course subscribe to my channel. Thank you, traders. I'll see you all in the new year. I'll be back on deck on the 4th of January. Thank you, traders.